Has this ever happened to you? You go out for a run. Same plan. The pace should feel fine, but it doesn't. Your legs feel heavy. Your heart rate is higher, and your head doesn't want to be there. You've slept more or less okay. You haven't changed your training. You're not injured. So what's failing? What if the problem isn't in your legs, but in your nervous system? What if you've been accumulating stress without realizing it? Work, worries, pressure, screens, sleeping less than you think. It all adds up. And when everything adds up, performance drops. Not because you're weak, not because you've lost fitness, but because your body is paying an invisible bill. Today you're going to understand why you can train well and still perform worse. And most importantly, what to do before that silent wear ruins your season. You have no idea how many runners fall into the same trap. You go out one day and you're slower. Immediately your mind looks for someone to blame. I'm losing fitness. I'm soft. I'm getting slow. I need to push harder. I lack discipline. And that's where the false diagnosis begins. When performance drops, almost everyone thinks the problem is training. Not enough volume. Not enough intensity. Not enough suffering. So you do the worst possible thing. You add extra kilometers to fix it. You throw in one more interval to wake up. You push a supposed easy run because I feel off today. And mentally you punish yourself like you failed. But listen carefully. Performing worse does not always mean you are worse trained. Very often it means you are worse recovered, or poorly regulated internally, or simply saturated. And your body doesn't show up with a sign that says stress. It shows up in small signals you mistake for lost fitness. Your heart rate is higher on an easy run. Breathing feels harder than it should. Your legs feel stiff from minute one. And the worst sign of all, you don't feel like running, but you force yourself anyway. Then comes another brutal trap. You compare yourself to 2 weeks ago. Before, this pace was comfortable. Before, I could talk easily. Before, I recovered fast. And because it doesn't feel that way now, you conclude, I've gotten worse. But maybe you haven't gotten worse. Maybe you're accumulating stress outside of training, and you're not counting it. And this matters. Your body doesn't distinguish between physical stress and mental stress. For your system, a heated argument is load. Poor sleep is load. Living with anxiety is load. High work pressure is load. Running afraid of injury is load. If you only count kilometers, you're watching half the movie. That's why the false diagnosis is so dangerous. It pushes you to train harder exactly when your body needs the opposite. More mental stress, plus more physical load, equals performance drop. Sustain that for weeks, and injury or stagnation is almost guaranteed. So here's the uncomfortable question. When you notice a bad day, what do? Do you slow down and listen? Or do you push to prove you're fine? If you're the one who pushes, bad news. You're not fixing the problem. You're masking it until it explodes. And the most frustrating part? From the outside, it looks like discipline. You train. You're consistent. You don't skip days. But internally, your body is accumulating debt. And that debt never forgives. Let's name what's happening. There's a concept that changes everything. Allostatic load. It sounds complicated. It's not. Your body is built to adapt to stress. Physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress. Every time something demands more than normal, your system activates. Cortisol rises. Heart rate increases. The nervous system switches on. Muscles prepare. That's normal. That's useful. The problem isn't stress. The problem is never turning it off. Imagine a glass. Every stressor fills it a little. Training, work pressure, poor sleep, worrying, scrolling late at night, too much caffeine, constant hurry. Everything counts. You may only be counting training, but your body counts it all. When that glass fills and you don't empty it through real recovery, where begins? Not dramatic. No collapse. No fainting. Just something more treacherous. Performance drops. And here's the dangerous part. You see the training. You don't see the mental load. Your body doesn't distinguish between a hard workout and a stressful confrontation. Both trigger stress hormones. Both consume resources. If activation never drops, you live in permanent alert mode. Running in permanent alert mode is running with the brakes slightly on. Not a lack of talent, not a lack of discipline, just biology. And if you don't understand this, you'll keep trying to fix an invisible problem with more miles. That never works. Now look at yourself carefully, because maybe you're already there. Sign 1. Your heart rate is higher at the same pace. Sign 2. You recover worse between intervals. Sign 3. Your legs feel heavy from the start. Sign 4. You're more irritable. Sign 5. You sleep, but don't feel rested. Sign 6. Motivation drops without a clear reason. And here's the one that hurts most. You start doubting yourself. I'm worse. I'm regressing. Something's wrong. Yes, something's wrong. But it's not your fitness. It's your adaptive system overloaded. Ignoring these signals is like ignoring a red light on your car dashboard. You can keep driving for a while, but the engine won't survive forever. Here's what really happens. When stress accumulates, your body doesn't explode. It dysregulates. Cortisol stays elevated longer than it should. Your nervous system stays switched on. Your body acts like it's constantly escaping something. The result? Slower muscle recovery, worse energy replenishment, more silent inflammation, more tension. Your heart works harder to do the same job. You burn more energy to produce the same performance, like running with a slight brake pressed. And here's the key shift. Progress doesn't happen when you train. It happens when you recover. If your system is saturated, there is no adaptation, only accumulation. And accumulating without adapting is the straight road to stagnation. Now comes the most dangerous part. When performance drops, you do the opposite of what you need. You push harder. You add intensity to easy days. You add kilometers just in case. You punish yourself mentally. Performance drops, frustration, more load, more overload, worse performance. A perfect downward spiral. More effort isn't always the solution. Sometimes it's the accelerator toward collapse. The body has a limit to adaptation. If you don't respect it, you'll learn the hard way. And from the outside, it looks like discipline. But internally, it's disconnection. So what do you do if you see yourself in this? First, lower overall stress, not just training volume. Sleep properly. Reduce screens before bed. Slow down dinner. Breathe deeply during the day. Walk without a watch. Second, make easy days truly easy. No ego. No comparing to 2 weeks ago. No chasing numbers. Third, insert a strategic deload week. Less volume. Less intensity. More mobility. More rest. You're not regressing. You're creating room to adapt. Fourth, protect your mental energy. If life is demanding, training must compensate, not add pressure. Elite runners don't train hard every day. They manage activation. They know when to push. They know when to release. That intelligence is what allows long-term performance. You don't need more toughness. You need more strategy. When internal noise drops, performance returns, and stronger. Listen carefully. You're not broken. You're not suddenly slow. You haven't lost your level overnight. You may just be accumulating more than your body can process right now. That's not failure. That's feedback. True progress isn't always training more. It's knowing when to push and when to recover. The best runners don't win because they suffer more. They win because they manage energy better. If you learn to read those invisible signals, you won't just avoid injury. You'll feel light again, in control again. You'll enjoy running again. And when stress stops dominating your system, your performance will surprise you. So tell me, have you ever felt like this? Training well, but performing worse? Write it in the comments. And if this opened your eyes, there's another video here to help you optimize recovery and run with real energy again. Don't let invisible fatigue ruin your season. Learn to manage it and start running with an advantage.